Winning has a price. And leadership has a price. So I pulled people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged. Once you join the team, you live at a certain standard that I played the game. And I wasn't going to take any less. Now, that means I had to go in there and get in your ass a little bit, and I did that. You ask all my teammates, the one thing about Michael Jordan was he never asked me to do something that he didn't fucking do. I wanted to win, but I wanted them to win and be a part of that as well. Like, I don't have to do this. I'm only doing it because it is who I am. That's how I played the game. That was my mentality. If you don't want to play that way, don't play that way.
I've worked with the Navy SEALs, and I asked them, like, how do you pick like the guys that go on SEAL Team 6, right? Because they're the best of the best, the best, the best. And they drew a graph for me, and on one side they wrote the word performance, and on the other side they wrote the word trust. The way they define the terms is performance on the battlefield and performance off the battlefield. So this is your skills. This is, did you make your quarterly earnings, whatever, however you want to translate it, right? Performance, it's traditional. This is, how are you off the battlefield? What kind of person are you? The way they put it is, I may trust you with my life, but do I trust you with my money and my wife? This is what they told me. Nobody wants this person, the low performer of low trust, of course. Of course, everybody wants this person, the high performer of high trust, of course. What they learned is that this person, the high performer of low trust, is a toxic leader and a toxic team member. And they would rather have a medium performer of high trust, sometimes even a low performer of high trust, it's a relative scale, over this person. This is the highest performing organization on the planet, and this person is more important to them than this person. And the problem in business is we have lopsided metrics. We have 1,000,001 metrics to measure someone's performance and negligible to no metrics to measure someone's trustworthiness. And so what we end up doing is promoting or bonusing toxicity in our businesses, which is bad for the long game because it eventually destroys the whole organization. The irony is it's unbelievably easy to find these people. Go to any team and say, who's the asshole? And they'll... they will all point to the same person. Equally, if you go to any team and say, who do you trust more than anybody else? Who's always got your back? And when the chips are down, they will be there with you. They will also all point to the same person. It's the best gifted natural leader who's creating an environment for everybody else to succeed, and they may not be your most individual highest performer. But that person, you better keep them on your team.
Recently, a guy came up to me and was grumbling about all the problems, the troubles, the difficulties that he was going through. He had just recently lost his job for no reason. His relationships were in a deep mess. Nobody was trying to understand him. Everything was going wrong, and he had done nothing wrong. And all through the conversation, he kept asking me, why is this happening to me? I'm sure a lot of you can relate to the situation that this guy was going through. I told him, look man, do what you can do to sort it out. If it's your fault, correct it. If it's someone else's fault and that person is within your access, discuss with him. Communicate to them. Very often, however, what we go through is neither our fault nor the fault of someone else. For example, a serious disease that we go through. We didn't do anything wrong to get it, and nobody else did anything wrong to have us get it. How do we deal with it? Here's what we do. A little boy once came running to his mother and asked her, "What are you doing, Mom?" She replied, "I'm making a beautiful embroidered design on this nice cloth. The little boy looked up to the cloth, securely held in the wooden ring, the hoop, and complained, "A design? All I can see is just some colored threads, yellow, blue, red, black, pink, all tangled up, all messed up into each other, all complication, and you call it a design?" The mother picked up the little boy, put him on her lap, and said to him, "Now look at it, my son." And the boy saw a beautiful design, an incredible pattern, a systematic plan and a layout evolving on this cloth. The mother said to the boy, "When you look at the cloth from your side, all you see is a mess. When you look at the cloth from my side, all you see is a beautiful design, a pattern, a plan." Ladies and gentlemen, when we go through the helpless, overwhelming challenges in our life for no fault of ours or no fault of anybody else, and we cannot do anything to sort it out, if we see and look at it from our point of view, all we see is a mess. All we see is situations and events tangled up and jumbled up to create that mess. But when we look at the same situation from life's point of view, from God's point of view, we see a beautiful design, a pattern, a plan evolving in our life. In fact, for a beautiful design of embroidery to happen on one side, you cannot avoid the mess on the other side. And it's not just the nature of embroidery, such is the nature of life as well. This outlook actually gives us a very deep sense of inner strength and fortitude to face such helpless, overwhelming challenges in our life. Thus I say, change your vision, and your vision will change you. Thank you very much.
If you're not always learning, if to this minute, if I'm not continuously learning, if I'm not just absorbing as much as I can absorb, someone else is going to kick my ass, right? So you talk about paranoia. The greatest source of your paranoia should be knowledge. If someone else knows more than you do, and if you're not learning, if you don't know how to learn, if you don't have a thirst for learning and acquiring information, you're SOL.
Do you think there needs to be a healthy level of paranoia?
Oh, absolutely.
There needs to be.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I always say, for every one of my businesses, I say, what would I do to kick my own ass? You right? So whatever business you have, there's somebody trying to put you out of business. There's somebody trying to take a bite out of your business. And it's better for you to figure out how they're going to do it rather than they do it. And so, yeah, that's being paranoid. And so you have to be paranoid. You have to anticipate other people's next moves. And you can't ever, downplay the competition.